Hi, I'm Andy Aledort, and in this lesson I'm going to teach you how to play the AC/DC classic Hell's Bells from the Back in Black album. The song's in the key of A and opens with Malcolm Young's signature rhythm guitar part. Let's play that part first. 1, 2, 3, and... So through this intro figure, you let all the notes ring throughout. We're going to start by picking the open A string. And you start with this shape, index 7th fret of the D, and I'm using my pinky, 9th fret of the G, and that's a shape, that's like A5. And you play 5th string, 3rd string, 4th string. Then I switch to a bar across the G and D string at the 7th fret. And then I'm going to move that down to the 5th fret. Back up to the 7th fret. So after the first 3 notes, the next bunch of figures are all G string, D string, open A. So real slow. And then at the end of the second bar there, you pick that open A string twice. And then at the end of bar 4, we switch to 2-note power chords. It's on the upbeat of B3 to C5, 3rd fret of the A, 5th fret of the D. And then you just move your index finger down while keeping your pinky on the 5th fret of the D. Move your index finger down at the 2nd fret of the A. And that's G with a B bass. So again. Figure repeats. When the full band enters with the bass and drums, both guitar players, Angus Young and Malcolm, are playing the same figure, that figure that we're just playing. But the second time through the lick, they play a different figure at the end. So what you do is you switch to a G5 chord, 3rd fret in the low E, A string's muted, open D, open G, 3rd fret on the top 2, and then to D5 chord. Get the open A in there too. Open, open, 2nd, 3rd. Back to the... One more time, that last time through would be... At that point, a new rhythm guitar part is introduced, and Malcolm plays it low on the neck while Angus plays it high on the neck using similar figures to the intro part. And that's a big part of the AC/DC sound, is the way they combine different voicings but play similar figures to make it sound really fat and heavy. So first, let me show you how to play Malcolm's part, the lower part, and that part essentially becomes the verse rhythm guitar part. And then after that, I'll show you how to play Angus's part. 1, 2, 3, and... So as I said, this part Malcolm introduces at the end of the intro, last 4 bars of the intro, and then that becomes the verse rhythm guitar part. So we go to a standard A5 bar, power chord, first position, open, second, second, and you're going to go fifth string, fourth string, third string. And then fifth and fourth open, and then bring the index finger back down, second fret of the D and G. Then you switch to a D5 chord, open, second, third, and then you take your index finger off. So this is in the second bar of the verse. So we're playing the D5 power chord, and then just ride on that palm muted D string a little bit. Hit the chord and then a palm muted open A. So here's a little slight difference between the end of that intro. You just hear the two notes. But on the verses, it sounds like that C is still on top a little bit for the G with the B bass. Over Malcolm's part on the intro, Angus plays this. So you still have that same shape that we were using before for the main lick. Pick the open A, and then pick the D and the G, 7th, 9th. So pinky, 9th fret, and then index finger barred, 7th fret, back to pinky, 9th fret. And then, so index 7, index 5, and then I use my ring on 7 to vibrato those two notes. And then open A followed by that same chord voicing. And then into the verse, Angus just doubles Malcolm's part. The next guitar part comes in on the pre-chorus, and again, Angus and Malcolm are doubling each other's parts. And we do a similar thing. You're playing power chord figures, but just taking the index finger off to get the root 5th changes to a root 4th, which is really a reference to the 4 chord for a second. So here's how you play the pre-chorus. 1, 2, 3, and... So you've got your full D chord, and we're just alternating off that, lifting the index finger. And then C5 to G5, and you could fret it like that, index, ring, pinky, or barring. Then they switch to E5, open low E, 7, 9, 9. You get the B string in there too if you want. So it's the same kind of thing. You're lifting off the 5th to get the 4th sound. And then you switch to D, to A. One more time. And that pre-chorus ends with 2 big hits on a G5 chord. And at the end there, when you hit those 2 low Gs, you can bend that 6th string up a little bit, going into the chorus, which is the same. That we had in the intro. At the end of the second chorus, there's a little 4-bar tag before the guitar solo. So you have the end of the chorus, and Malcolm is playing. right there he lets that A chord sustain, and Angus plays some little licks over that. So let's go over those little licks Angus plays in that little 4-bar tag before the guitar solo comes in. 1, 2, 3, and... So what we have here is, this is kind of based on A minor pentatonic in 5th position. And we start with 8 on the B, 7 on the G. So after you pick these two notes, you're going to bar across 7th fret of the G and the B and bend and release. And then right here, he may have intended to just play across these two strings or just play the B string. But you can hear a little harmonic there. So, go back to 7th fret on the G and B, 5th fret of the G, bend a half step, 7th fret of the D, and then slide up 5, 7 on the D. And then that's going to hold for 2.5 beats. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5th fret on the top 2 strings. Bar across the 7th fret again and bend a half step. And then pick it unbent. 1, 2, 3. And then on B3, start bending it a little bit. 1, 2, 3. And then you do a pick slide, coming down the top 3 strings. And then we're into the guitar solo. Now we're up to the guitar solo section, and for this section, Malcolm introduces a different rhythm guitar part. So let me show you the rhythm guitar part first that Angus solos over, and then we'll do a bit of the solo. 1, 2, 3, and... So I'm just playing an A5, and then 3rd fret of the 6th string, bend a half step, open low E to C5, 3, 5, 5, open low E again to D5. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 1. So those chordal accents, they come on upbeats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 on the upbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he begins by hammering 5, 7 on the D string on the upbeat of beat 1, 1, and then right on B3, gonna hammer 4, 5, and pick 5 again, and then he plays hammer 2, 4 on the D, and then pull off 3, 0. And then you pick 2nd fret on the G string. And a quick slide up to the A 7th fret of the D. Right to a bend, 7th fret of the G. And while you hold that bend, you're going to fret 8th fret of the B. Bend again, and then picking the G string with your pick and the B string with your finger. Slowly release the bend. You have a fast pull off 5 open to 7 on the D, so 5 open on the G. So that's 7, 7 on the G and B, and then back to 7 on the D, and then 5th fret, G and B. These are some double stops. You're going to slide up 9 on the G, 8 on the B. So you go from 9, 8 to 7, 7. Make sure you vibrato it. And then after you go back to 9, 8, you're going to slide up to 11, 10 on the G and B. And then he plays sliding up to 14 on the G, and then you're going to fret 14, 13 together. So he goes. So slide, pick the 2, slide again, and then you pick the 2 twice. When you do that slide, picking 2, that shape you do twice as well. So, and then he, at the end of the bar, is just picking back and forth between those 2 strings. It goes kind of quickly, so it's not imperative to pick it exactly like that. It's more the effect. Then in the next bar switches to, so 13, 12 on the top 2 with 14 on the G. And then that first 8-bar section of the solo ends with a unison bend, 10th fret on the high E with 13th fret on the B. So for a clearer picture of how to play this song, be sure to check out the transcription that's in this month's issue of Guitar World. And don't forget to check out our tabs site that's at tabs.guitarworld.com.